Hello, everyone. We'll give everyone a couple minutes to join, get comfortable. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, how are the weeks going? Or how the week is going?
Week's good. Normal. Just every day is a crazy day in the e-commerce world, but getting after it and making things happen.
Yeah, awesome.
How's yours?
Good. Oh, Chris, how you doing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm doing great. Same as Ryan. Every day is crazy. It's Friday Junior today, so I'm pretty happy about that. So,
yeah. Friday Junior, love it. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got Chris and I are here in Toronto, Canada, and then Ryan is vaccinated, so he's been floating around. Where are you this week, Ryan?
I'm in Atlanta right now, so I've been in LA, San Diego, just trying to bop around, see some people. Having my first, or maybe like second business meeting in real life tonight, and one tomorrow, and back on the road a little bit, which is awesome and exciting. And I feel like people are so anxious to see people in person, meet, and we've all been missing that in-person connectivity. Yeah. And the power of the conversations that you get to have, when you're live with people, it lends a whole new sense of touch point and personalization. That was just awesome to have back in life.
Yeah. Well, we are here in Canada. We're a couple months behind you, hopefully. So we're excited for all that as well. Yeah. No, it's great. Okay, well, why don't we kind of kick things off and people can join when they can. So thanks everyone for being here. We're so excited to have you. We have two of our phenomenal partners on with us today, Ryan from Attentive and Chris from Gorgeous. So I'll just introduce myself. My name's Margot. I lead our tech partnerships here at Clearbank. For those of you who aren't aware of Clearbank, don't know what we do, we're the largest e-commerce investor in the world. So we fund, I think it's about just over 4,000 merchants, both SaaS and e-commerce businesses, and we've deployed, I think it's just under $2 billion of capital. So we, besides our capital products and our finance products, we also provide a few data products that we're going to be talking about today. And two of them being our benchmark and insights tool. So this is really a tool we wanted to build for our founders to really give them a sense of how are their metrics benchmark compared to others in their vertical or even some of their competitors. And then we also have a partner recommendation tool, which Gorgeous and Attentive work with us. And basically that we provide data-driven partner recommendations to our customers to make sure they're spending their marketing and those budgets most efficiently. So just to give you a little bit of sense of kind of how we work with different platforms in the e-commerce space. Anyways, with that said, I will kick it over to Ryan and he'll kick off the intros and then we'll go with you, Chris.
Awesome. Thanks, Margo. Happy to be here today with both of you. I'm Ryan Briggs. I run our growth partnerships here at Attentive. So partner with digital and performance agencies, venture capital funds, e-commerce, ecosystem players, and private equity funds to use and evangelize Attentive across their client bases and portfolios. And really, what Attentive seeks to do is create a personalized and targeted experience via SMS messaging. So we're an SMS messaging platform really built to drive about 18.5% of total online revenue for our consumer base, and doing that at extremely high ROI, 25x ROI, and really making sure that we create a one-to-one consumer experience in the e-commerce world. Work with about 3,000 companies, from the largest of the large to the smallest of the small, and really try to just make sure that consumers and companies are interacting and having a great experience because of it.
Love it. Chris, who are you?
Awesome. Yeah. So my name is Chris Lavoie, and I lead tech partnerships here at Gorgeous. Typically, Rohan on our team is the one that works with our great partners at Clearbank, but he's on Big Brother right now, so I'm filling in for him. Happy to be here today. Check out tonight's episode. Rohan was on the block. But to bring it back to Gorgeous, we're a customer support help desk built specifically for e-commerce merchants, really focusing on that personalized experience that e-commerce merchants are always looking to deliver to their merchants. So that's why it's a great fit to be on the panel with the partners with us today. We work with over 6,000 merchants across the space today, mostly based in North America, but a healthy amount in EMEA and APAC. As Ryan said, with Attentive, we work with people, from small to large, whether you're under $1 million in GMV or above $100 million in GMV. We're here for you, and we're all about making your lives easier and delivering exceptional customer support for your customers.
Awesome. Thanks for that, guys. No, I'm super excited to have you both on today. We've been wanting to do this chat for a little while now. I mean, one thing our customers have, we've made a number of intros to Attentive and Gorgias over the last year, and nothing but good things to say about the platform. And I think since COVID hit, there has been so much demand. Obviously, there's been so many brands moving online or just investing more so online. Here in most of Canada, retailers do have to shut down their brick and mortar shop still. And so I think there's such an immense pressure on how we are building these relationships with customers in this online ecosystem. And so, offering and getting to know tools like Gorgias and Attentive play a huge role in making that really efficient for e-commerce companies. So I'm really excited to have you guys here today. So let's get into it. And for those listening, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. We will do our best to get to them. Awesome. So let's talk about investing into these technologies a little bit more. So maybe Ryan, I will have you start. And so when do you think is the best time to invest in an SMS channel, in an SMS platform? They are more and more popping up in the space, but it is a relatively new channel. So I'd love to get your thoughts.
Yeah, it is still a new channel. I think, somewhere probably in the 20% of companies, actually do SMS today. And, as they think about kind of building a business, first you got to think about, hey, has your top of funnel, are you getting customers to your website? If you're not getting any customers to your website, it's tough to build an SMS list. So have to make sure that, you have the top of funnel working, whether it's organic, social, or right before you're about to turn on kind of top of funnel, because once you get them to your website, that's like the ultimate opportunity to capture them and start to personalize messaging around them. And what will help brands do is actually build out that capture on the front end to help start driving a lot of SMS capture in terms of numbers and making it really efficient for them. So it's really about waiting, and using as soon as you're ready to start really trying to grow your business and investing with your business, and hopefully using ClearBank and funding it to turn on things, then that's the time, because once you start getting that traffic, the value of capturing them as a subscriber and personalizing content around them becomes really, really powerful and really helps you extend those LTVs.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I don't know if there is somebody else who wanted to jump in. Just a quick follow-up question there. And so, a lot of the times, we fund a ton of small businesses, as you two know. And we find that when they are smaller, they're really focused on acquisition, obviously Facebook, Google ads. And so as far as in the size of the email list, how many contacts should they have that email list before considering using or starting an SMS channel?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will do it actually in tandem. A lot of people, when they start thinking about retention, you actually don't have to have an email list even to start. And so, think about kind of what we think about it is the 5K of traffic, website traffic coming to your website is kind of the time that people will start thinking about retention. And you have to have a reason for them to come back, kind of products that will make them come back, and having some reason to interact with the consumer over the long term. But we'll capture email, we'll capture SMS both for them, and really think about it in tandem. So I don't think you necessarily need to have one or the other. You can kind of build them out side by side.
Okay, that's awesome. And then, Chris, would love to hear your thoughts on the customer service side. I'm sure a lot of businesses, as they're starting out, don't think immediately to maybe have coverage over customer service inquiries that come in. And so I'd love to get your thoughts on, when you have these inbound leads or in the sales funnel, what are the size of businesses that are typically coming to Gorgias saying, hey, I need help?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there's two use cases really that for customers that have come to Gorgias. So one, they're just starting out. As Ryan has talked about, acquisition is key in the beginning. You just need to get those customers support is obviously, you need that from the very beginning. Like you can't not have that as a part of your business, but going above and beyond, it's hard to commit resources to that in the beginning when you're just focusing on acquisition. So customers who come to us, they're maybe experiencing like rapid growth. They started off less than $1 million in GMV. Something has happened. They got their marketing playbook down. Their acquisition funnel is great. And now the volume of customer support has just shot through the roof. They can't manage it anymore, say through Gmail, having one person manage all of their support volume, and then they need a tool. And that's when they'll come looking for something like Gorgias. And then on the flip side, customers who are already established, they're pretty large, maybe 10 million plus in GMV, and they might be using another tool that's out there that isn't satisfying their needs in terms of the level of automation, the level of personalization that they can achieve. And so that's when they'll start looking for an alternative. So those are really the two instances where someone would come looking for Gorgias.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I can speak to that. We've had customers join Gorgias of basically all sizes from small to large. So I just want to build on that for a second. I would love to pick your brain to understand a little bit about any trends that Gorgias has seen over the last 12 months as so many brands are investing more in their online stores and how they're communicating with their customers.
Yeah, for sure. And so the big trend just in customer experience in general is brands are looking to achieve that perfect balance of speed and personalization. So we know as consumers, we expect things rapidly. If we have questions for a brand, like we shouldn't be waiting any time at all is our expectation. But also when we get those responses, we don't want it to sound like a robot. And so how do you be super fast, but also be super personalized? And that's like the holy grail of customer experience in e-com. And so that is what our merchants are demanding from us. We have close relationships with our merchants. They're always giving us feedback, and that really informs the product decisions we put on our roadmap. Is how can we automate as much as possible, but also still make it easy for them to deliver those personalized responses, even when you are automating. And so that's definitely a huge trend we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you guys always say, turn your customer service center as a profit center. So just given that, you two both work at platforms that generate quite a bit of revenue for customers, I'd love to learn a little bit more about how Gorgias does that.
Yeah, so that is our cheesy hero slogan for sure. It's turning support from a cost center into a profit center. Obviously, we make it really easy to deliver great customer support, which improves retention, LTV, all that good stuff. That's bottom line stuff. But actually, what a lot of people don't know about Gorgias, and we're trying to do a better job at marketing it, is we make it really easy to generate upsell opportunities. And we actually have a revenue dashboard inside of Gorgias. So a great example is I'm helping Ryan out. He's a customer of mine. I solved some big issue he has, and I say, Ryan, happy I was able to help you out. By the way, I see that you're a big fan of our orange soda beverage. Just so you know, we just launched our blueberry soda that I think you might be a big fan of. Here's a 10% discount code. Have a great weekend. He's like, well, I love orange soda. Thanks so much. And he clicks on that. That's a sale attributed inside of Gorgias, and we track that. And so that's
I'll be looking for that at my door, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get some. Yeah, exactly. I'll get you some.
You do both.
But yeah, so we make it really easy to do things like that and create sales. And this is another thing, and it's a big theme that we'll talk about is Ryan was talking about SMS. It's like, getting customers on your website. That's an opportunity to actually connect with them. And it amazes me how people don't see customer support as that same opportunity. It's like how often now, and especially with COVID, you actually get to talk to customers in real time, right? So don't just answer questions in the support side, turn it into a sales opportunity as well to increase the AOV and lifetime value.
Yeah, and I think that's what's cool too about how Attentive and Gorgias work together, where we'll actually plug in and Gorgias will plug in us, and if we send a message, whether it's automated or a campaign message or a personalized flow, any response they get can actually go straight back into Gorgias, and then they can use that as that opportunity to have that customer interaction and upsell opportunity right in the Gorgias platform. They don't have to leave it. It just effectively will create a ticket for them and make a nice flow accordingly.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Ryan, you actually had a question from somebody. So you go, hi, Ryan. We see great ROI on our automations, but we lack performance on the campaigns on SMS. Any advice on how we can improve personalization and grow our community?
Awesome. Well, that's a great question. Great to hear that you guys are doing great automations already. I think when you think about kind of campaigns and personalization around those campaigns, it's really starting to segment, who are your customers? Who are your best customers? Who are your customers who have they bought one product? And then if, you've done a lot of research on the back end, to say, hey, if you've bought jeans, you're very likely to buy a top. Or if you've bought orange soda, you're very likely to buy blueberry soda. That's that opportunity to, again, like use those campaigns as cross-selling opportunities, and as opportunities to then, interact with the consumer and find what those, cross sections of product are. And then, taking that a step further, segmenting by, a VIP list if you've built one out, or like recent drops, I think always work really well on campaigns. Like you want to have a reason like for the consumer to interact with your messages. And the best way to do that is for more and more personalization, more and more segmentation, and just really finding like, am I delivering a message that the consumer wants and wants to interact with? And then also, thinking about it, email and SMS are different channels, not, repeating the same email and SMS message and trying to make it its own personalized channel, maybe throwing a GIF in there, maybe throwing an image, trying to make it fun, make it interesting, and make it feel like you can really like let the brand's personality show through campaign messages works really, really well. Because like when you send a campaign message, that's your opportunity for a touch point. That's an opportunity to show who your brand is. What is your brand about? And so use that as a, segment, personalize, show that brand, and tell who you are.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I remember when you came to train or speak to our sales team about attentive, you were talking a little bit about what you basically just said of, you have to have those different voices and those different brand identities with email and with SMS. And, you mentioned the crazy open rates on SMS versus email.
Yeah, about 95%
on their phone. So I would love it if you can share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, about 95% of messages are opened within 5 minutes of receipt, which is crazy. And about SMS, email are opened about 1/10 or 1/10 as often as an SMS message as well. And so by getting out that message, you're getting out it's personalized, and they're going to get the message. So it's about ensuring once you've delivered that message that it's relevant, because it's going to get read, it's going to be interacted with. And so how can you create that message so once it is read and interacted with, you have the highest chance of purchase? And to take it a step further, when you think about how you build out your segmentations, it's just ensuring that the consumer knows what they're getting, knows who the brand is, and has a very common voice. And I'll have one of our team share a bit more about segmentation in the chat, and you can check out the segmentation there as well.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like I never really thought about it when you're like, yeah, people open 90% of text within 5 minutes. I mean, it's so true, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's, there's the right time to do it. You want to it's better to send a text in the afternoon versus the morning. Because like in the morning, we're so used to having emails in the morning because people get up, check their email and scroll. But like text throughout the day, we're always on our phone. We're always interacting with it. And, I think the great thing about text is, it's a channel that everybody knows how to use. Everybody has access to it. Everyone can understand it. Mm-hmm. And it just allows you to cut through the clutter. And it's all about personalization and segmentation on the back end.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Chris, what do you think, and how does Gorgias, I guess, approach, this increase of people shopping more and more on their phones and through social apps?
Yeah, it's a great question. We actually did a really great webinar in December with Attentive as one of our featured panelists on mobile commerce best practices for 2021, and it's insane how popular mobile commerce is now and will become. I think it's like 54% of all commerce purchases in 2020 were on mobile, and obviously that number is going to go up and up. And so, yeah, we see that trend. For Gorgias, we've built an app. So now brands who use Gorgias for customer support, they can use it. So we're not, not only are we making it easy for our merchants to deliver great support, we also want our merchants to be able to use mobile because we know that's the future as well. So it's really popular. Having a robust live chat, that's if we're going on a technical side, building apps and live chats that can show up on your phone is a different challenge, as we know in the tech space versus on desktop. So it's forced us to invest more in our product to make it mobile compatible, so our users can get the most out of it. Because when you're shopping on a website on desktop, it's really easy. All the pop-ups you always see, it's really easy. Yeah. But doing that on mobile is a different beast. So we've had to really reconsider how we achieve that.
Yeah, I would just add on too, kind of outside Attentive and outside of Gorgias, like ensuring your website is mobile optimized. And it seems silly, like there are still a lot of companies that have not properly optimized their website for mobile. And like, if your conversion rates aren't, optimized on your mobile device, then you're losing so much opportunity. And, particularly with like SMS, it's like, we're going to send them exactly to that product page, exactly what they want to see if you're personalizing it. And that has to be optimized, because the moment like it's slow to load, or you can't find, or like you have the weird, they're gone, you lose them. And it's just, you have to make sure, because like the attention spans are so short. Like if you capture them on social or somewhere else, like you have to make sure that once they get there, that they know what they're there for, and they can, find what they want to purchase.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I used to work at an e-commerce agency, and, we'd always urge clients for us to do kind of site audits, because it's one thing to spend a whole bunch of money into Facebook to drive acquisition, but if no one's converting on your site because something's broken or that UX isn't optimized, then it's a little bit of a waste of money. But yeah, it's really interesting too. At the beginning of this year, our account managers do these quarterly business reviews with our customers, and they'll kind of walk through with them their benchmarking insights tool and just some of the trends that they've noticed. And we're actually tracking conversion rates both through Facebook, Google, Instagram, Amazon ads for our customers, as well as kind of the overall site conversion rates. And so that's even another free product that everyone has access to. If you did want to sort of, if you aren't using some sort of BI tool and wanted just to kind of a framework of how your conversions compare to others in your vertical.
That's a clear cheat code. That's like so powerful and can make an impact. Being capital efficient in early stages of companies is so important, and ensuring that like you're not overspending on ads and your conversion rates are low because of it, and it's just so essential. And I know like you guys at Gorgeous are all about efficiency and revenue, and like Attentive, we're the same way in terms of optimizing ROI and not overspending, and try to make sure that they're targeting, and like capital efficiency is just so essential.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just pile on to Ryan's point and just highlight the ClearBank benchmarking tool, which I think everybody here should be checking out. You'd be foolish not to be honest. And it echoes this point where Shopify and the e-commerce space, they make it so easy to start a business, for sure, and that's true. But there's an overwhelming amount of tools out there. It's hard to know. You want to use them all, and you want to pump money into them all, but it's about doing it at the right time. It's kind of a theme we've talked about. When do you start implementing CS? When do you start implementing more advanced CS tools, for instance? And so having a benchmarking tool is one of the pieces of info you need, so you can prioritize those resources early on when capital is tight. So I definitely just want to highlight that merchants with us today should be checking out a tool like ClearBanks.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. It's awesome. I was going to mention something. I lost my train of thought. It'll come back. Okay, cool. Well, let's talk more. Let's kind of carry on here. Let's see. Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. So, I think this is actually kind of interesting. So, as younger consumers are starting to sort of empower the household spending a little bit, as these younger demographics are more active on social and influencing how they're possibly themselves or their parents are spending. Ryan, I'd love to know a little bit about how you're thinking about and targeting those younger demographics.
Sure. Yeah. So, when you think about we'll call it, millennial, late millennial, Gen Z demographics primarily. So, I would call that in the 20 to, 34 range. Obviously, a great SMS consumer. They're a consumer where a lot of them like don't even open their emails, like particularly as you get into the Gen Z. And what's interesting is, with some of our companies that we work with on the SMS side, they'll actually be like, we want to go mobile only, because when you put an email in front of somebody that's like sometimes on the low end, depending on like the company and the brand, they're like, they don't have emails and they just are like, we don't know what to do with that. But they're all so on, SMS, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, all their social channels, and like 90% plus of some of these, emerging brands that cater to that consumer is mobile traffic, versus a typical split of like 75-25, 70-20, or 70-30. And so having to cater an experience around that and around mobile is so important and so essential. And like when we think about SMS, how it fits into the to the broader picture, we know that like the average, Gen Z spends about 70 minutes a day plus on SMS. It's,
Wow.
the opened app. It's where all their group chats are. It's where their interactions are. And because of that, like they also want to interact with their companies in a similar way. And it goes back to, sending messages as companies, like a lot of, companies that cater to that younger demographic and younger generation, their messaging all reflects that too, whether it's like using the emojis or like, even kind of like the verbiage they'll use in text messages and like the jokes or inside jokes or Twitter jokes or, whatever, it might be. Like it echoes the social conversations they're having and the text message that they're having with brands. And because of that, the ROIs and like, people want to be on those lists because you never know what they're going to say. It's like, it's fun. It's interesting. It's different. It's really letting the company tell like that story. It's not just like the old, 1960s Don Draper advertising, like buy this product. And it's really creating that like emotional connection with the consumer. That's, what companies, should strive for and what, great companies do really, really well.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's to the point, like every brand, especially, Chris, you were mentioning it's so easy to spin up an e-commerce store now, which is fantastic, especially in this day and age. But it's so important to tell your story. That's how people really connect. That's how you drive loyal customers at the end of the day. And that's what keeps people engaged. So I love that. I love that you mentioned that. Okay, we are running out of time here.
I'd take it a step further, even like, and maybe, with, kind of Chris and Gorgeous, like we actually find that, a lot of these consumers also like want to have that two-way interaction. They'll want to ask questions because like they're in customer service and like, they're like, hey, I'm on SMS. I want to interact with it. And so by actually having, Gorgeous interact and like they can type something and create a ticket, then Chris and his team can step in and like, the actual team and the company can then further that conversation and keep it going more. Obviously at Attentive, like we can like do some personalization and automations around it, but then actually like having that full on conversation is just a really powerful approach to making a personalized consumer experience.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I think, brands, even those who've just gotten started, like they need to already start thinking about how they're going to be building those relationships with existing customers. And there's so much feedback that they can get from, let's say, those first 100 customers, right? As far as the experience, the product. And I love how brands are even, at least some that I follow on Instagram, for example, are leveraging their community to get feedback on the product development even. Like I love being a part of that. And so I think just kind of that coinciding with, like you said, building that brand and that identity and really that and having that personality really show through SMS are two really, really powerful things.
Yeah, definitely. And it's something that we saw, we Gorgeous and Attentive released like this running case study with a company called Running Glory recently. And like, it was very similar where, they were using that exact personalization, product feedback, interactions, like with that, kind of Gen Z millennial type consumer to drive just like really personal text interactions and really personal customer service, which is just so essential. And today, too many brands out there. And like, if you have a great brand experience with one company, you're going to remember that. If it's just like a standard brand experience where you didn't have an interaction, like, on to the next one, there's going to be the next Instagram ad, there's going to be the next conversion somewhere else. And you have to keep that long-term interaction in customer experience.
Yeah. Running Glory. Oh my God, they have the coolest products. I can never pull them off. But if anyone loves a good personalized denim jacket, please go to their site. You will not regret it. Awesome. I'm sorry. Did you want to say something? You guys good? Yeah, I was just just as we're kind of wrapping things up here, is there anything else that you guys would want to share a little bit about Gorgeous or Attentive, to the audience or what they should be thinking about as, we're entering Q2?
I'll jump in there and just announce a pretty big product release that isn't public yet, but it will be soon, and we're at liberty to talk about it. Is Instagram DM integration. And so right now, if we think, like we connect with all the social channels, and right now we have Facebook Messenger, We just have Instagram and Facebook in general. So if people are commenting on your posts, you can engage with that. It can detect the intent or sentiment as negative or positive, and you can be proactive with that. But the one missing piece that we've had is Instagram DMs. And so when brands or people or customers are messaging you and Instagram DMs, now that'll be pulled inside of Gorgeous. And so you're going to have all of that information. And so this kind of goes back to the theme earlier where you want to connect with your customers across all channels, SMS obviously being a really important one as well. Social channels are huge as well. So anywhere your customers are at, you want to make sure that you're connecting with them there. And so we're really excited to talk about that as a feature that we're going to be releasing this month.
Yeah, that's huge.
Talk about the millennial Gen Z consumer. Like
that's literally what
the lead, Chris.
Like, social channels, that's where they're at. They want to, you got to be there.
Hard to follow, Ryan. Any product sneak peeks that you can share with the group?
Nothing I can share right now. Just in terms of, but lots to come. I think the product team's working really, really hard and have some really exciting things that'll come out, this year. And but I'm not at liberty to say. I got to keep it quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Just keep watching, Clearbank Live and watching social and stay tuned.
Did Attentive get a new logo?
We did. We did a full rebrand today.
That's huge.
Yeah, I guess that's big news. And I think really it's just taking the company is continuing to grow and really trying to be just put a brand that is where we are as a company today, and lots of props to the marketing team for the rebrand, and really excited about the new logo and what we have coming down the pipe behind it. So
yeah, and the one thing that really differentiates Attentive is all of this, the service and the customers, and even the customer service within working with Attentive that customers get. If you are new or thinking about SMS, this is the perfect time to even test it. I think they have a free trial that you can join, and they have a team there that can really support you build out the right automations, right campaigns, really build and create the right voice and brand identity through that channel. And so
yeah, and at the end of the day, we know that for almost everybody that SMS is a totally new channel for them. And so, by working with, our, great agency partners and, with our customer success team, we just want people to be successful. We want them to step into the platform and know how to interact and know how to, move around the UI, know what's important, know how to drive ROI, know how to drive revenue. Because at the end of the day, if, you don't have, revenue and you're not driving revenue and ROI, what's the point of having an SMS platform? And so I want to ensure that they're optimizing for that, because it's about a lot more than just spending money. It's about, building their business and growing their businesses, building a long-term, great customer relationship.
Yeah. I think somebody commented Attentive's customer service is the best.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Appreciate it.
That's awesome. We had a question. It looks like somebody might be using our Clear Angel product, which is awesome. Thank you so much for being part of the Clearbank family. But yes, you do have access to these tools. So you can actually just go onto our website, clearbank.com. Tori also might be sharing a link to make it a little bit easier. And if you just open an account and create your account, connect your accounts just through the sign-up flow, you'll get access to some of those free tools.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin.
And love, we see a lot of success with a lot of Clearbank customers who have started on the tools or started, using funding and using that to invest in Gorgeous and things and grow their business in a really capital efficient way. It just makes so much sense. It's so cool that you guys are able to do that and provide that service and do it in a really smart and fair way for companies. And so props to helping grow the overall commerce ecosystem.
Yeah, no, we have a really big new product or sort of evolution of an existing product coming out at the end of the month. So if you don't already subscribe to our email, definitely sign up for that. It basically will be kind of an opportunity for customers to get more access to, which partners and platforms they should be working with. So I basically kind of gave it away, but just subscribe to all of our channels. Looks like Brendan just commented. I don't know if everyone can see these comments, but Brendan just said, to hop on the bandwagon here, Attentive pop-ups convert like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, generally we find that we'll capture about 3x more emails and SMS using our pop-ups, and that's just, we built it really with the consumer in mind, with mobile in mind, with how the consumer wants to interact, and then ensuring all the compliance is obviously over the top of everything. And then lastly, like I think the 2-tap flow, if anyone hasn't seen it, it's a really cool flow where basically if you're on a mobile device, you'll just hit the button. It'll open up a text message in your text messages automatically, and then you just hit send and you're opted into the SMS list, and it's totally compliant and very clean and very easy, which is awesome.
I mean, between the being able to officially answer all your DMs and what you just mentioned, Ryan, I think everyone should be off to the races and install these tools right away, because also they're very affordable. And come to Clearbank if you just need a little top up. For those of you who don't know how Clearbank works, we're not alone. We say we're the largest e-commerce investor, but how it works is we actually just look at your data. That's how we underwrite your business. And then our system will show you what capital offers you're eligible for. And we charge a flat fee, and we just take a percentage of your daily e-commerce sales. And that's how we recoup the funds. So there's no hidden in fees or anything like that. So we make it really easy as well. But anyways, I think we're over time. So thank you so much to everyone who tuned in or is watching the recording. And thank you to Ryan and Chris for being on here. We really, really appreciate your time. And we love working with both your teams. So a big thank you.
Well, thank you, Margo. My biggest regret is this wasn't longer.
We got to make it longer next time.
We could have done this for an hour or 2 hours.
People might get bored though.
Yeah, totally.
We're not that interested.
Yeah. It's fun for us.
Thanks so much for having us, Margo.
Yeah. All right.